Broadcast.
Boom, get rid of that. We live? I think we're live. We should be live, receiving your content, your audience. We'll see it in a moment. Get ready. I don't know what that is. Are we live yet?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition right here, Red One Radio. I'm your host, Red One. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. Man, what's going on, Side Chat? It's been a minute since I've talked to you guys over here on the show. But, you know, I had to come out of retirement. Not out of retirement, but I had to come back a little early.
Out of retirement.
I had to come back a little early, man, to have a discussion with you guys today, man. And so today, guys, you guys should know who's right here below me. He goes by the name of Hammy. He's back once again on the show. What's going on, Hammy?
How you doing, man? Good to speak to you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear him properly? Is he loud enough? I hope he's loud enough.
I sound good?
Yeah, you sound good to me.
Can you hear my voice?
Hopefully everybody over there is good, man. Big shout out to everybody over there in the side chat. Lisa Cool, we got Chucks, the Bongo Fury, Armang, Boosted in the building, Calcatana Sab, Crazy. Is that Cheyenne? Hopefully I said that right.
That's my girlfriend right there.
Oh, is it? Hey, what's going on, Miss Lady?
Yeah.
Shout out to you. I remember
My
you from,
wonderful, loving girlfriend. There she is.
Yeah, I remember her from the parking lot.
That's how we met. I'm kidding.
Yeah. We got Cassidy X1. Man, it's good to see y'all over here. So look, we're gonna talk about a couple things, man. I don't want to keep everybody too long. You know, it's Saturday. You guys should be out drinking instead of sitting here on YouTube hanging out with us. But so Hammy, the world knows, or a good chunk of the world knows what has recently happened to you. For those that don't know, give them a quick rundown, I guess, of kind of what happened here recently.
So, if you guys don't know what happened, I got into a motorcycle accident last Sunday. I lost control of my bike on the freeway and slid right underneath the trailer of a semi-truck, came out the other side, and lived to tell the tale. Without a doubt, one of the most extreme, nerve-shattering, life-changing, blah, 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 every cliche in the book. It's one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. And I'm just happy to talk about it with my man Red One today.
For sure, man. For sure, man. I appreciate you. Really appreciate you being on the show, man.
Yeah, no problem. Like, any time to talk to you is a good time to talk to you, and this is a great time to really just be here. Yeah, I'm just happy to be alive, man.
Good, for sure. So I want to kind of touch on so I really haven't been back to your channel to watch the video since the first and second and third and fourth time I watched it. So I did go back a few days ago, and reading some of the comments, there are some brutal people over there, man. And
oh yeah, it's the internet,
right? And yeah, so for those that maybe have came over here because of that or whatever, or who just don't know you, give them a little background into your riding career, man, because a lot of people, they just look at it as like, oh, this dumbass crashed or whatever. Oh, this dude was doing X, Y, and Z. But I think if people knew your background in history when it comes to riding, they may loosen up, but not. It's the internet. But still, it's good to let people know.
Yeah, so I've been riding pretty much all my life since I was 6 years old. And but I was just riding sparsely. But the main point we're getting at here is that when I was 12 years old, I started racing bikes. I did that up until I was the age of 16. I never went professional or anything like that, but I've got lots of years of track experience, plenty of time on the track, learning how to ride motorcycles well. Unfortunately, my career ended when I was 16 because I got into a big wreck. I was run over by another rider, so that's why I don't race anymore. But nevertheless, by the time I came to the street, I was very prepared to handle a motorcycle on the road. And up until this accident, 4 years later, I haven't been in a crash. And in all honesty, I've been I really had a lot of problems on the street, and but that's mostly because, for the most part, I was a very safe rider.
Right.
Although certainly when I got my newest bike, my new 2012 Z1000, I was certainly pushing my limits a little bit more, but never anything on an extremely reckless level. But certainly I wasn't wearing my gear as much. The bike gave me just a whole new sense of confidence, because my old Z1000 was, man, that thing was a dog. Like this office chair could go around Laguna Seca faster than that thing. So the bike itself was what really held me back from doing anything out of control. But when it comes to the accident, everyone was thinking I was wheeling, I was doing something crazy like that. Truth is, I was just getting onto the freeway. So what happened was we just left my house.
Hold on, we'll get to that later. I want to kind of break this down, man. You know, it's easy for us as riders just to go straight to the meat and potatoes because we get it, right? So you know, you grew up riding bikes. So number one, crashing is not new to you, correct?
No, I crashed many times on the racetrack.
Okay. And then let me ask you this. On the racetrack, have you crashed because of a tank slapper, high-speed wobble, whatever you guys want to refer to it as? Has that happened to you beforehand?
Actually, no. I never crashed because of a tank slapper. I did have a speed wobble once, but I did have a stabilizer on my race bike. I was on my ZX6, and yeah, I had a quick little shake on that one. But no, the only times I really experienced speed wobbles or tank slappers was when I was riding on the street, particularly the freeway that I crashed on.
Okay, that's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to let people know that, like, yes, like, you're an experienced rider, and A, for your age, B, well, just, yeah, for your age, whatever, like, you're experienced. You're not some noob. You didn't just pick up the bike when you started your channel or X, Y, and Z. Like you were someone that has a lot more knowledge than I'm not going to BS, at least probably 60% of motovloggers out there, man. It is what it is, man. Like, I'm glad motovloggers are riding, but I'm sorry, motovloggers are not the most educated people when it comes to motorcycles. I've been on a journey of learning, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm immune to anything or like that, but I'm learning, you know. Big shout out to like Tim Kreitz and, you know, all the other guys that, you know, definitely has a lot more knowledge than us, you know, and I constantly pick their brains. But motorcycle riding, start to finish, is always a journey. It's always a learned thing. So coming to the table, you weren't new. All right, so let's get into kind of what happened. So you were getting on the freeway, and
yeah, I didn't mean to jump onto it so quickly, but it's just
all good.
Yeah, so I was getting onto the freeway. I was riding with my buddy Moses. We'd been planning on a ride that day, and it was just another day of filming. Sunday with my buddy, we're getting on the freeway, and we start merging over to the carpool lane. And at that time, I was just checking behind me, making sure traffic was okay, and got to the lane next to the carpool lane. And at this point, I decided just to accelerate really hard in first gear. First mistake I made was being in first gear in the first place on the freeway.
Okay. But, makes sense to me. Gotcha. But
accelerated hard in first gear, and I wasn't really paying attention to my speed or the tachometer. I was just looking ahead, passing the car next to me. And next thing I know, I bounced off the rev limiter in first gear, and I was like, oh shit, there's the rev limiter. And at this point, I'm well above the speed of traffic, which is doing around 75, 80, give or take. There was a couple of cars there, but nevertheless, I was certainly going a lot faster than I should have been. And then I changed into second gear, which is where the video starts, and still accelerating a little bit. And then within a second, I lost complete control. I got into the biggest tank slapper I've ever had. I mean, maybe if I was really paying attention and watching what was going on, maybe I would have caught it. But certainly, it got away from me so quickly. And at that point, when I realized what was going on, I was veering off to the other side of the road, to the other lane, and then I noticed there's a big-ass semi truck coming towards me. And at that point, I mean, I was completely out of control. There was nothing I could have done. I mean, no amount of throttle input or brake input or weight on the front handlebars would have changed a damn thing. I was going down, and I saw that truck coming towards me, and man, what a scary feeling that is.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So from what I'm understanding of kind of what may have induced or brought up on the wobble, tank slapper, or whatever. Do you kind of do you have an idea of what brought it on? I mean, I can only speculate, but I mean, you're the one that was on the bike, so what do you think it was?
I think it was just a mixture of my weight. I had my weight too far back on the bike when I was accelerating, as well as the freeway. I'm going to take full responsibility. It was completely avoidable. By my own riding, I could have avoided it. But certainly the mixture of what I was doing plus the bumpiness of that freeway, it was the 60 freeway going through Harupa Valley and Riverside.
Okay.
And I know you've ridden on the 91 freeway before through Corona and Riverside, and you know how bumpy that is. It's outrageously bumpy. And yeah, it's incredible. And the 60 freeway is just like that. And I've had speed wobbles on that freeway before, just changing lane, 70 mile an hour, just switching over, accelerating a little bit. I've had speed wobbles on that freeway before. And I think that mixed with my weight too far back and accelerating just caused the whole thing to go into a massive tank slapper. And I see a lot of people asking first gear, really how fast was first gear? It's a 1000cc bike. 1000cc's are very quick.
Yeah, tall gearing too.
Yeah, gearing. That bike was just really quick and got up to speed, changed into second. And then at that point, just lost complete control within a matter of half a second maybe. And then pretty much it was just all history after that.
Yeah, no, I got you. Because even like I've had one real good tank slapper, and it was under acceleration. And this was on the 55 freeway, like just before it ends down there, and like what the hell's that? Like Newport or whatever that is?
Yeah, Newport, yeah.
And so I kind of over time I kind of realized what it was. It was the hard acceleration, and you're starting to relieve the weight of the bike on the front wheel, and so then you have those rain grooves, and I think like the bike's going forward, but then the rain groove starts to track the front tire just slightly off. And then when neither you shift or close the throttle, then bam, bike's out of alignment, and then hang on, buddy, it's not going to be fun. But luckily, I didn't go down. I don't even remember what I think I just literally closed the throttle and just held on, and then it fixed itself, and I was just like, all right, duly noted. Like, that sucked.
Pretty much, there's really not much you can do. I mean, there are theories about how to get out of speed wobbles. But certainly when you're getting into really serious speed wobbles, dude, you're just along for the ride. Yeah. You get lucky or you don't, and I didn't.
True. So, all right, so the speed wobble's going, man, and I'm not gonna lie, dude, when I watched the video, especially the slowdown part, that last one before you went down, I'm like, how is the bike even still upright at this point, man? Like, I mean, like how not upright as in like vertical, but like it's still on two wheels, and you're still like you haven't fully crashed yet, man. It's pretty amazing what a bike will do to fight to stay up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, will stay straight. Yeah.
And was there any thought during that point of transitioning from the number one lane? People, if you don't know, the number one lane is what we consider the inside lane closest to the wall, and then it goes 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to the the shoulder over there to the right. So as you're in the number one lane and you're transitioning across toward the truck, like, did you, after the fact, I guess, did you think maybe you had time to probably just get off the bike, or was there anything you could have done now that you look back or whatever during that moment?
I mean, I'm sure, but at the time, I mean, it was all happening so fast. I mean, all I know is at that time I was out of control and I'm heading towards the side of a semi truck. It's just I mean, I was looking at that. I didn't think about dropping the bike yet. I mean, and then when it did come time when I was right next to that truck and the bike was completely bucking at this point. It was throwing me off back and forth. The back wheel was in the air. Okay. It was intense, man. And then when I was coming up next to the truck, this is where the miracle happens, man. At just the right time, the bike drops. Right. At just the right time, I slide right underneath the rear tires, and the front portion of the trailer before it gets to the landing gear. I slid right in between that little gap, and my forward momentum was pushing me forward enough to where my lower half of my body went in between the truck's rear tires. If you watch it in slow motion, I go right underneath that truck. And at this point, I remember going down, and I remember being under the truck, and I remember looking at the rear tires of the truck and thinking like, fuck. You know, I was right, my face was right in those rear tires, and I thought I was going to get crushed. I thought that was it. I thought my pelvis, my legs, I'm going to get crushed. I knew my top portion of my body was outside the truck, but I thought that was it, man. Like, I'm going to be paralyzed for the rest of my life. I'm never going to walk. But, and then before I knew it, I was out the other side. I was sliding on my side, and I don't know whether it was just my instinct or maybe just pure momentum, but I do remember trying to get myself onto my back. So my jacket and my backpack, I was just sliding on those. And, yeah, and then I just slid to a stop, got up. First thing I thought was, I got to get off this freeway because I don't know what's coming behind me.
Yeah, I definitely commend you for that. You, like, kicked into gear, like, because I think there was confusion, and then you're out the other side, and then once you see the trailer pulling off, you kind of like, that's when you kind of like rolled over or something, and you were like sliding on your back. And then the moment you came to a stop, like, I mean, not even really, it didn't even seem like you came to a stop. It was like right as you were slowing down, you just kind of popped up and immediately started to move to the side of the road. And it's like,
oh yeah,
when I saw that, I was like, fuck yes, because he knows, like, at least he knows in the back of his mind that, like, yeah, some fucked up shit happened, but I don't have time to deal with this right now. I need to get off this freeway because there's a possibility there's a car behind me traveling at 70 that has no clue that I'm there right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But when I was sliding, I went into the divider between the off-ramp and the freeway. So again, another stroke of luck. Traffic would have separated at that point, but still, first thing that came to my mind was, the second I stopped, I got to get off this freeway. And then I got up, looked. There was just a truck with a trailer that was slowing down. You know, everybody there watched what happened. Got off the freeway, and my buddy was we were connected on our centers. Like, he was behind me at the time of the accident.
I was just getting ready. I was literally leading up to that. But okay, yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, he was behind me at the time of the accident. He watched the whole thing, and he was screaming in his helmet, like, because he saw me go down and go into the truck.
But he can't see the other side.
No, he didn't see me coming out the other side. So he thought he saw the bike flipping through the air, because I don't know what happened exactly to the bike. I think it just hit the side of the truck, the wheels or whatever, or it got run over. But he saw the bike flipping through the air, and he thought he just witnessed me get killed.
Right.
So he's screaming his head off in his helmet. And then when I got off, when I was standing up, got to the side of the freeway, I could just hear him screaming, and I was like, it's okay, I'm not dead, it's okay. Like, because at that point, I got hit with just the biggest rush of relief I've ever had.
Right.
I was just sitting there like, it's okay, I'm not dead. And this lady was coming up to me. I was probably kind of hysterical at this point, because I was like, it's okay. I didn't put this in the video, but she's coming up. I'm like, it's okay. I'm not dead. It's okay. I don't need help. I'm not dead.
Right.
But she was a nurse.
Okay.
She was very shaken by the accident as well. Lovely lady. But you know, she told me to sit down. Very commanding voice. Like, she's a nurse, so of course, you know, I did what she was telling me. And don't take off your helmet, all that sort of stuff. And I was just sitting there, and my buddy, who watched it, came turned around or something like that. I think he just pulled up to the side of the freeway and walked back to where I was. And we were just sitting there, and man, strangest feeling of my life, man. Like, it was pure relief that I lived. And I hadn't quite processed what exactly happened. I just knew that I wasn't dead.
Right.
And, you know, so I knew I wasn't dead, and I knew I wasn't hurt, because everyone was asking me, like, normally when people crash on the freeway, regardless of if they hit a truck or go under a trailer, they're hurt. They're really badly hurt. They will roll and break collarbones and ribs, hit their head really hard on the ground and get a concussion. Like, you don't know what the problem is. So everybody was very concerned about me. But at that moment, I knew I wasn't hurt. I had a graze on my knee, but I could move my toes. I could move my legs. My shoulder worked fine, so I didn't burst my collarbone. I was in completely coherent thought, so I didn't have a concussion. I didn't hit my head that hard. I only have a tiny scratch on my helmet. And I just sat there, wait for the ambulance to arrive. And the fire crew showed up and they all checked me over, and I was sent off in the ambulance.
Right. Yeah. And so what's funny is I was like, yeah, when you first were like, I'm not dead. At first I thought, okay, he's in shock. And then second I thought, nah, he's just doing it for the camera. Like he's playing it up. Like he's good now. So he's like, you know what? Yeah. Let me go ahead and milk this a little bit.
Like,
but then when I saw there's like that lady, and then your boy came over, and he's the only person that had a helmet. If you look on the helmet right there on the chin side, there's a fucking Hammy Moto sticker, and I was just like, wait, what? And so I went back through your Instagram, and I went back a couple fucking pics, and there you and him were standing side by side. I saw that helmet, and I was like, I think he was talking to his boy. I think they were connected, and if they were, then I'm right. But I'm glad you put that out there. But from his point of view, I thought about that, like, fuck, what did he see? Only thing he probably only saw was just him go under the truck, and then that's it. You know what I mean? And he's probably dealing with not trying to hit the bike or whatever. But yeah, dude. But it's still an amazing crash to me. It's very entertaining to watch for those that don't get it, and this kind of leads me into the whole point of me bringing you on the show. And some people had asked over there in the side chat about it. They want to know kind of, and me too. I know we talked off air, prior to this, but like, where are you at? Like, where's your head at? Like, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, sure, everybody knows you're healthy, right? Nothing's broken. You just gotta take some, maybe, what are you using, bandages or gauze pads, or are you just letting that shit air dry as far as road rash?
A bit of both. I mean, the only road rash I have is that stuff on my knee, and it's been, I was trying to air dry it, but still I wanted to walk around and get some stuff, so I've been protecting it with pads, and it's been healing pretty slowly. I just started going back to work yesterday. And it's been quite painful because it's not scabbing over very well yet because I haven't let it air out properly.
Right.
But for the most part, it's coming together well. Like, that's the only injury I have. It's the only complaint I have. I got way more hurt on the racetrack than I did in this accident. So, it feels good not to walk around the house feeling like a complete cripple.
Right. So, back to the question.
Yeah, sorry.
How are you, Hammy Moto? How are you doing? Mentally, emotionally, whatever, man. Like, how is your health other than physical stuff, man? Like, how are you doing? It's been weird, man. Like this, like I said, it's been a deeply personal experience. Like, I never thought this would happen to me, and I always thought I was a good rider. And the worst case scenario that I imagined happened was getting tank slapper on the freeway. And it's been strange. It's hard to describe for people who haven't gone through it, but certainly when you've been that close to being killed and got that lucky, it changes your perspective on a lot of things. Like, this is a weird example, but listening to music has really changed. I find myself just getting deeper into emotion a lot easier. That's just a strange personal example of mine, but mentally wise, I'm not battling with it too much. I've watched the accident over and over and over again, so I'm desensitized to it. I know exactly what happened. It doesn't scare me to watch it. But certainly the more I think about the significances of it, like, how did I get that lucky? Was it just pure luck? Was it God? Was it Allah? Was it, David Hasselhoff? Who knows, dude? It was just, it's one of those things that you gotta, you're in a small bubble. I mean, and there's other people that have been through similar life death situations that came out unscathed, and you may want to possibly look at finding, you know, some of those people and just sitting down and maybe having a discussion, dude, because nobody here on this panel, I mean, not panel, but me or anybody here on this side chat for the most part, unless there's somebody out there, like we can only relate or we can only just kind of sort of understand. Like, you know, I've been in a serious crash, but I was fortunate not to remember anything. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I've had little low sides and I had my one little major high side, but I don't know. And so it's like, I know that you're kind of going through some stuff, and, you know, I would love to help, but I can't really offer that much advice because I don't know what you're really going through. I can sit down and I can think about it real hard, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I really don't. And, you know, I mainly wanted to do this, you know, not to just try to grab a bunch of views or whatever off this hot topic. It's the same reason why I haven't even hit you up to be like, hey man, you mind if I play the video in the background while we do this? It's not about that. Like, I'm not about that. When I saw it, it fucked me up. It was, I know him. Like, I hang out with him. You know, I've enjoyed, you know, your company. And so, like, one thing I'd said in the video leading up to this was that most people, when we watch videos of people crashing, whether it's a compilation or something on Instagram, right? Like, we don't know that person. And because we don't know that person, there's no attachment to it. So we just think like, that shit was kind of funny, or damn, dude, that was lucky, or dude, man, he got fucked up. When it comes to somebody that you personally know, there's a personal element attached to it. And
yeah, definitely.
For me, it really affected me as far as it made me think about writing. Like, how far do I want to go? Do I ever want to be put in a situation that you just went through? No, I don't. But then at the same time, if I get put in that situation, will I get lucky?
Yeah. As
you did? Or will I end up not here? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things. I mean, what I'm thinking about right now is it needs time. Okay. I'm not that heavily traumatized by it. Like, again, I know, but it's just sort of trying to realize how lucky I got and trying to figure out the significances of it. You know, the obvious question comes to mind: why am I here? Why did I survive that? It's just it's a big personal quest that I think I'm gonna have to go through at this point. I mean, I'm gonna do the best I can. Honestly, I'm not the type of person to really linger on things like this. True. So I'm sure, given time, I'm gonna move past it. I mean, I've crashed before, nothing anywhere near as outrageous as this, but I've had accidents, I've been hurt, I've gone through it all before, so I know the process. But certainly the, I don't know, questions that this one has brought up in my mind haven't been brought up before. You know,
if you want to talk on that, please, by all means.
Yeah, sure. It's just, I mean, people bring up religion. I've never been much of a religious person, but I did always feel like I had someone watching over me. I've been a lucky person all my life, and I've realized this, and I've been grateful and tried to treat people the best that I can. And this instance just really proves that there's certainly something that we don't understand that is trying to do our best to keep us safe, at least in my mind.
Okay.
That's how I feel. That's what I'm thinking right now. I've been lying in bed every night just saying thank you to whoever, whatever, just thank you. Like, I walked away from this, and I'm still with my friends. I'm still with my family. I'm not hurt. I'm not in a wheelchair. It's outrageous, man. I lived.
Right.
I fucking lived, man. And oh God, it's just, I'm so thankful for that. But another thing that's very strange is that even after the accident, I got home, and although this happened, nothing really changed. Like, I still went to the same bed on my 2 legs. I still had my PlayStation, and nothing significant changed in my life apart from the accident. I didn't have a bike in my garage anymore.
Right.
That was it. That was the only thing missing from the picture. And that was, motorcycles is a gigantic part of my life. And now I don't have one. My YouTube channel was a big part of my life, and now I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So this just raises a whole bunch of questions personally of what I'm going to do now. I mean, I'm a young guy. I'm sure certainly got my whole life ahead of me now. Just where to go, what to do. And like I said, it needs time. And I'm sure whoever comes along on my path is going to be there for a reason.
Okay. I can respect that, man. And I mean, even just the little things that you said, man, show that you know, it goes deeper than what people think, you know. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying, man. The reason why I did this is because, you know, so many people get into riding motorcycles for different reasons, right? Big shout out to Trick Wonders for the $25, man. Much love to you, dude.
Yeah.
You know, big shout out to him once again, because I mean, hell, he just recently had an accident, you know. Glad he walked away. I saw he got the bike fixed. He put up a video, I think, here recently. And but you know, people get into riding for different reasons. They get into riding for commuting purposes. They get into riding for you know, their friend talked them into it. Like literally, I've sold 2 bikes to 2 dudes at the same time because they were friends and they fucking rode together. I thought that was the most gayest but coolest fucking thing in the world. Like, think about it. You and your best bud go buy motorcycles the same day. Like, all right, I'm gonna get the red one. You get the fucking blue one. All right, cool. You know
No, I want the red one. No, you get the blue one.
You know what I mean? Like,
is that how you got your channel name? I want the red one. Hey.
But you know what I'm saying? People get into riding for different reasons, motovlogging, etc., etc. Go down that route. But people, you know, I think people forget that, man, like, stuff can happen, right? And one thing I always said, man, I wish everybody could have a 25-mile-an-hour low side, because then you'll have an idea. You know, it's enough to, like, you know, minor road rash, but you know, you'll still be up riding the next day, but you'll have an idea. But you know, I want to really reiterate to people, and want people to know that are not riding, or who currently ride, that have not. Big shout out to Trick again. Thank you, dude. Oh
man, look at that. He's rocking it tonight.
You know, I really want to reiterate to those people who either riding or looking to get into riding, to just take it serious, man. Take it as serious as possible, man. Working at this dealership, you know, I see a lot of people, they come in the game proper. They're like, dude, I don't trust myself on the 600. I'm gonna go with the R3. Oh, great, yeah. Dude. You know what? Good choice. And then there's some people that's like, oh, I'm gonna go with the R3, but I'm not gonna keep full coverage insurance on it, or I'm just gonna ride with a helmet, no gloves. Kevin in the back, man, thank you, sir. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Now I owe you some brisket or something. I still owe Ride to Victory some brisket too. I still got you, Ride. I ain't forgot, bruh. Anyways, you know, so yeah, I'm seeing people come at it the right way, come at it the wrong way, and every person that I've sat down, like I had this dude that came in, it's getting oil change or something, and he was like, yeah, I only got liability insurance on my bike. And I'm like, are you financing? He was like, yeah. And I was like, dude, you might want to get full coverage on that shit. He was like, yeah, it was kind of expensive though. I was like, dude, it's a $300, man, like like $100 tops. But I was like, you know what happens if somebody steals your bike? Well, I mean, insurance, right? No, you got liability, bro. You don't get nothing. You know what happens if you total the bike? I'm guessing the insurance not gonna pay. No, they're not gonna pay. And you know, I try to educate everybody to just do it the right way, because you know, sometimes you only get one chance to get it right, and if you're slipping or lacking just a little bit, man,
yeah,
you may not.
I didn't have full insurance on my bike.
You did?
I had liability, but that's because I never thought I was going to crash. well, either way, and plus it was just cheaper, you know.
I mean, you know what? For somebody from your point of view, well, here's the thing too. You own the bike, right? You owned it outright.
I own the bike. Yeah, definitely. Like that's the thing when it comes to buying vehicles. I do not want a payment. $100 by Trick Wonders.
Trick Wonders, mic drop, hands down. Trick, you my dude, man.
You're making the paycheck tonight. Red One, you're buying me drinks.
Yeah, nah, I owe Trick some drinks now. Fuck. Love you, Trick, though. Real shit. Yeah, but so you see, like, you own the bike, and owning a bike outright, whatever you choose with your insurance at that point is okay, as long as you got whatever covered. That's not bad. Full coverage insurance is the better way to go. But, at the same time, I can understand somebody in your shoes not really looking toward full coverage insurance. Because don't get me wrong, dude, it's been a while since I've laid that. Like, I've never had an insurance claim on my R6, the one that I currently have. Zero. So I've been paying full coverage insurance for the last 4 years for technically no reason. Other than you know what I mean? Like, but, how much was your insurance, by the way, for the liability? Did you pay it monthly, or was it like a yearly? Or
I know that this year was going to be $1,400
for the year.
Yeah, for the year.
For liability. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're young.
Oh yeah, and plus I've got a couple of points on my license from when I was younger.
Okay. So yeah, you're still paying for that.
So it was just going to be expensive to get full coverage, and I don't want to spend that much.
Yeah, full coverage would have been what, probably like 220, something plus, like that.
Something like that. Something outrageous. I mean, I only paid $4,700 for the bike. I got a great deal on it, and it wasn't. I saved up for a while, so it wasn't too expensive, so I didn't mind it.
Okay. But yeah, for all you other guys out there, man, if you're financing anything, man, make sure you keep full coverage on it, because you do not want to have an accident and then you end up paying for something you can't even look at, like, because it's in a junkyard, totaled somewhere, and you can't even look at it, but you still making $275 monthly payments for the next 4 years until you get it, till you finally get out from under that lease, or not lease, but whatever, finance structure, deal, whatever.
Kawasaki Kryptonite says I should use my white privilege.
It gets you for
and be like, hey, come on here, I'm one of you guys.
But yeah, guys, I'm like I said, I wanted to hear from the man himself tonight, and I wanted him to talk to you guys, so that way you can kind of understand, because here's the thing, we all see crashes, but we never know what happened afterwards, or what happened to the guy, or how he doing, or how his mama doing, whatever. Like, we never hear what happens, you know what I mean? Just like an unfortunate thing happened recently. You remember that guy that was on the 14 freeway that kicked that white car, and then that car tried to swerve, or the car tried to swerve and hit him, and he kicked it, that. And then the car like flipped over, or it crashed or some shit. So nobody knew what happened. And all of a sudden, bam, information comes out. They arrested the motorcycle rider. You know what I mean? So sometimes you never know what happened. And so I wanted to bring you on to, kind of let people know what happened, where your head's at, and stuff like that. And I want you to, as we get ready to kind of wrap this up, I want you, like, if you could say something to new riders, like people who either just came into the game, or like who's right around the corner from coming into the game, like they waiting on that tax check to come in so they can go ahead and put their $1,500 down to get that brand new XYZ
FZ09. That's what everybody's buying these days.
You know what I mean? Like, what, after what you just went through, what would you say to them?
Be mindful of what you're doing. Pay attention, of course, and wear your gear, because that's something I stopped doing. I stopped wearing my gear as much as I used to, and thankfully that day I did. I mean, I wasn't wearing a full-on tracksuit, You know, no amount of gear would have stopped me from getting crushed from a semi-truck. But still, I had my jacket, I had my gloves, and I had my helmet on, and I had my backpack. And they saved me from a world of hurt of road rash for sure. And just keep that in mind. I mean, it's going to get hot. It sucks. I know everyone's nagging to wear your gear, but trust me, you want to wear your gear. You don't want to. I got lucky with the minimal amount of injuries I had, and that's because I wore my gear. And also, don't accelerate really hard in first gear on the freeway and get speed wobbles, because it really sucks, you know. Ooh.
Yeah, I want to say for me it wasn't. I think mine was a good second gear. Like, just came into the power band because I was like racing somebody or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I remember what it was. It was Cali Girl Rider and one of the homeboys named Eddie. He was riding her bike. She was on the back. So, but he was on her bike, the 1000. We were going to Newport Beach Ducati to pick up his Panigale, and that's the one that later got stolen in her video. But anyways, and so we like took off, and so yeah, I was like second gear, hard acceleration, and that's when I had my speed wobble. So yeah, for those out there in the side chat that is speaking on stabilizers, I think stabilizers are a great thing.
Oh yeah, get a stabilizer, absolutely. I mean, I had one on my old bike, but that was my girlfriend. Thank you, Cheyenne. I had a stabilizer on my old bike because it got speed wobbles, and the first thing I did when I got a speed wobble on it was I'm getting a stabilizer. Okay. And with this bike, it handled so well, and it was so well. I didn't have a lot of issues with it, so I lagged on getting one. But something interesting was that morning before the accident, I thought about getting a stabilizer. I was like, I've been really slacking on getting a stabilizer for this bike. I need to get one soon. And I was like, I'll order one tonight. So get one. Get one, no matter how fast, no matter if you're on a 300, a Grom, on a 1000 like myself, get one, because you never know when those wobbles are going to happen. And believe me, they will sneak up on you, and whatever happens. I mean, there's very little you can do to control them at any speed.
Yeah, definitely. And even for those that really get into wheelies too, it's more exaggerated with that, because you're coming down and all it takes is for you to have that front tire just slightly kinked off, and because there's times where I've set down wheelies, and granted I'm setting them down well above 60 miles an hour. I'm setting it down at 65, of course, but you know, and there's that initial 1, 2, 3 back and forth like shake, and then it straightens out, and I'm like, woo, all right, like next time.
Yeah,
you know, but it wasn't anything to throw it into a tank cyber. But like I said, I had that first one, and then I immediately had and I didn't say this, but I immediately took it to the shop and was like, dude, I had a speed wobble. Can you like check, make sure like stuff and things is tightened up under there? And sure shit, once they lifted the front off the ground, they felt that the steering was really light. They were like, yeah, dude. And so he wound up torquing something back down to spec, and I haven't really had a issue since then, other than setting down wheelies. So steering stabilizers, definitely, guys. You know, coming from Hammy, I'm pretty sure he knows what he's talking about. I've never had one. I've just only had built-in stabilizers. So I've never had an aftermarket one. Well, what's the big difference between the two, other than the aftermarket one is just, I think you can change the settings and stuff like that, right?
I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on the bike you got, but I would always recommend getting an aftermarket one, because I mean, if the bike has one and you're not getting wobbles, then you're probably fine. Okay. But I wouldn't go out on the road and test to see if you get them or not. But certainly, I would ask a mechanic, go to a bike shop, and ask if they recommend getting a stabilizer. I certainly would. Looking back now, of course. But yeah, it's people really thought I was wheeling on the freeway. Not on that freeway. No, you'd have to be a moron to do that on how bumpy that 60 freeway is. And anyone that's ridden with me, I suck at wheelies. Yeah, so yeah. I do. I'm not very good at wheelies. I never practiced them much. I mean, on the racetrack, I was more focused on getting good going around corners. That's all I was really focused on. But power wheelies and stuff like that, on racetracks, you're not allowed to wheelie. Like, power wheelies are tolerated, but you can't do like no clutch ups down the straightaway. That's heavily frowned upon. And I never had a small dirt bike to practice on, so
Right.
And plus my old Z1000 was really difficult to wheelie for some reason. I mean, it just wouldn't clutch up. But this one did, and I did start experimenting with it a little bit more. But still, I wanted to get frame sliders and a stabilizer on it first before I start really trying to practice wheelies. But I was certainly in no rush to be that guy.
Okay.
But certainly, I would really get a stabilizer, frame sliders. If you want to start doing stunts, do it in a safe place. Don't do it on the 60 freeway next to semi trucks.
Yeah, that is definitely true. So I'm gonna ask you a few more questions. Literally, I didn't write down anything. Anyways, I didn't write down. No. I just wanted to freestyle this, dude. Whatever came to my mind, I just wanted to talk about. But so, bike's gone, and you're recovering. I know it's passed through your mind whether you've stopped to give it longer thought, but riding again, or you throwing in the towel?
I'm sure I'll ride again at some point, but as of right now, I've got an opportunity to step away for a bit and try something else. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But certainly, riding was a big part of what I thought about every day, and it still is. But certainly as of right now, I think I'm going to just take a break. You don't survive an accident like that twice, so I'm certainly not in a rush to hop back on and start riding again. I'm gonna give it time and just wait it out until I really feel the itch to get back on. Then I will see how it goes. But certainly, I'm definitely never gonna get back on a bike again. That's just no.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, you're gonna strap your foot back over, and it's like, all right, let's try this out again.
And certainly next time I'm gonna be a lot more cautious and really pay attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think I think a lot of things in life are shit that could have went wrong, and you learn from it, and then you fix it, and you come back better than you did the last time. At least that's how it was when like for instance, the average rider who crashes without a jacket. Right? They fucking come back with some road rash. They're like, all right, fuck this shit. Let me go ahead and get this leather Alpine Stars over here because I'm not going through that again. You know what I mean? And then, whatever else, man. And so I think whenever you do decide to come back, man, of course, you always got family here in the YouTube community, man, especially here in SoCal, man. You can reach out to any one of us, man, or whatever. And,
definitely, man. Best place to be.
We'll definitely do what we can within reason. All right, can't be over there and be like, hey, let me go ahead and get the whatever, like the R1 or some shit if I happen to get one by then. But whatever, you know what I mean? Like, we got you, dude. But yeah, I think when you come back, man, you'll definitely have a different mindset. And you're definitely gonna be well prepared next time, so that way you don't ever have to go through this again, man. I'm in a way I'm glad that your camera was rolling and that you could share this with people and let them know the severity of what motorcycle riding can be. Definitely. I think too many people with the motovlogging community focus too much on either creating fake BS to get views and all this stuff, or they focus just on the positives, or not the positives, but the fun factor, the wheelies, and Jake the Garden Snake out in the middle of the woods riding around, and Shade Tree out there dodging big ass banana spiders or whatever, right? Like, we focus too much on that, and I just think, like, every now and again you gotta reel people in. Like, you get this massive audience and it's like, look, dude, yes, we have fun, but man, this shit is not a game, dude. If you do it the wrong way, man, you may not get a second chance to fix it.
That's something I mentioned in one of my Instagram posts. I mean, it's a lot like driving as well. Like, it's so easy to forget how dangerous just being on the road is.
True.
I mean, especially for motorcyclists. I mean, guys like anybody that's ridden for a long period of time and gets really comfortable with riding, it's just so easy to forget how dangerous it really is.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need a reminder of just what can happen. I mean, something I was thinking about the other day, I know you've been in an accident before, and other people, I'm pretty sure people that have been in car accidents can relate, but there's a certain point when you're about to crash where you know you've lost complete control. And everything that's about to happen to you is not in your hands. It's completely up to the elements of the situation.
Right, okay.
And until you've experienced that, you really understand just how heavy the forces are at play. Like feeling a motorcycle that's out of control is not friendly. It's vicious, it's frightening, it's dangerous, and until someone experiences that, it's humbling.
I guess it would be like in a shoving match between you and like a fucking grizzly bear or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like these motorcycles, yeah, when you're doing 25 mile an hour putting around, they feel nice and easy and light, and they do what you want. But you got to remember, they're well over 300 pounds, and you know they got, at least my bike was knocking out well over 140 horsepower. Like it was a monster of a bike, and you know you forget about it. You don't respect the machine, and it bites back, and it'll kill you.
Yeah, you know, ladies and gentlemen, just pay attention. Take the time to do it right, because when or if shit goes wrong, man, you at least want to have the best foot forward when it does. You know, I've been in a major crash. I know KITB just rear-ended or just smacked a car. Luckily he walked away. Ghost Ninja, he forgot to turn right. You know, he went down. Undercover Biker, I know he's been down a couple times. Logically Insane, dude, his second moto vlog on the channel was him eating shit with Suburban Delinquent. You know, stuff like that, man. You know, and just God, man, I look, people are gonna ride, people are gonna make dumb decisions, but you know, I feel I feel that as moto vloggers who have like a spotlight on them to some degree, you have some sort of influence over somebody who doesn't know any better, and if you're the guy that can get 40 or 50 people to go ahead and buy the jacket with the gloves and the boots or whatever, great. But if nobody ever focuses on that, if they're only just trying to focus on getting the views and getting the money and getting the subs, then that, to me, that message gets lost. But this person, this random person that you have no idea who they are, has to live it, because nobody ever told them that it's a possibility, you know? And that's what sucks. Like, I work at a dealership. I can't tell people, hey, you could die if you buy this. I can't say that. But at the same time, I want to. I do it in roundabout ways. Like, hey, man, make sure you get the gear. Well, I was just going to get like a helmet. I got like some mechanics gloves. Like, dude, when you hit the ground at 10 miles an hour, that shit will shred and just disappear, man. Like, don't wear mechanics gloves, okay? Don't. You
can get killed at 30 mile an hour almost as much as you can get killed at 130 mile an hour.
Walker, my boss, he got hit at 25 and was in a coma for like a week or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like anything above, what was it? I think I had a theory. I think you can get killed on a bike at any speed, like but still or badly hurt. Unless you're like doing like you can get hurt just dropping it without putting the kickstand down. Yeah. The amount of guys that had that happen to them and bash their knee up, you know?
Right, broken leg. Yeah, because I mean, you figure like, dude, if you got a 1,000 or even a 600, that kind of momentum, man, and your leg happens to be pinned under there, dude. Yeah, there goes your leg. You know, I totally had a good thought and I just totally lost that shit. But whatever, man. Yeah, just people, just you know, do your homework. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Yeah. And you know, it's more than gear too. It's also riding. You know, learn your bike. Learn. I don't want to say learn limits, because if you learn limits, you're gonna crash, unfortunately. But I mean, learn braking techniques. Learn quick maneuvers. You know, you can do these things at slow speeds. You know, to kind of help out. But you know, I think so many people, once they learn how to counter steer and go around cars and do all this, then they think they're like, oh, I'm good, dude, I don't need anything else. But what happens when you're aggressively passing a car? You're swooping around the side, and then there's another car right there. Have you practiced braking at that kind of speed? Like, can you handle that kind of pressure, or are you just gonna buckle the front and then end up sliding at 75 or whatever?
Oh, I think panic braking is what gets a lot of new riders. For sure, because learning what learning what you're doing is one thing, but learning what you're doing when you're in a situation is completely different. Like one thing which I always personally did as a rider was I got used to sliding the back wheel.
See, I always wanted to do that shit, but after I saw that video,
I mean, it's tough to do on like an R6 because you're so low on that thing. But certainly on a bike like mine where the handlebars are up high, it's much easier to control it at lower speeds or looser conditions. But I got really good at doing that. And whenever the back wheel broke loose, I knew exactly what to do, you know, or sliding it down. Engine braking is another big thing. If you find yourself in emergency braking, change down 2 gears, let out the clutch, let the back wheel chutter. But you do not want that front brake locking up because you're going down regardless.
Right.
Yeah. Right. That's one thing I'm very cautious about because I had a new rider at work, really good guy. He bought all of his gear. I actually remember telling him, like, you live down the street, you're going to get tired of wearing that quick. But really good guy, smart rider. He did everything clever. He bought a Gixxer 750 as his first bike, which is you know, it's controversial. It's controversial for some, but I certainly. Like I've had friends that have bought 600s and they haven't crashed. They're perfectly responsible riders. It really depends who you are.
Right.
But knowing the guy, knowing how seriously he took getting into motorcycles, I think he's going to be fine. But I was telling him one of the biggest tips I had for him was watch that front brake, because any amount of dirt, any amount of turbulence in the road, if you brake in too hard into a corner and into the entry of a corner, it's going to drop.
Yep. You
know, your first instinct is to grab that front brake and pull as hard as you can, unless you got ABS. Then you're fine, but most of these bikes until like, I don't know, 2011 or something like that, don't.
Well, I had a customer today who was like looking at super sports, but he's looking at 600s, and he's like, so which ones have ABS? I'm like, man, if you want a 600 with ABS, like super sport, like you gotta go fucking like 2017 or new or some shit. Like
they're not an old thing. They haven't been around.
The leader bikes have had them for a while. Like the R1s had, you know, like traction control and a bunch of other shit, and so is Kawasaki. They've had it on their bikes for a while. Honda, I just found out that they really didn't start doing that on their 1000s until like a couple years ago. Same thing with Suzuki. But yeah, a lot of the older super sport bikes, man, anything definitely pre 2015, like 600 wise, doesn't have ABS. And it's funny because they put ABS on like Ghost Ninja's first bike, the Ninja 650, or like a lot of the upright bikes like the Honda 650F or the 500 this. Like those bikes come with ABS. I mean, you can get the model without it, or even like the 300s ABS. I'm like, why aren't you putting ABS on the R6? Like that makes no sense. I mean, it does now, but why not? Like what? Like you tell me you can't like kick up the price another $500? Like I'll take ABS, you know. But
yeah, I think that's very important because obviously the manufacturers realize that this is why a lot of guys are going down because they're locking their brakes. I mean, but certainly that's the biggest tip I would recommend to a new rider is watch your front brake. If you can, find a little bit of some quiet road and get used to getting your back wheel loose. I mean. That's why a lot of MotoGP riders back in the 90s and 80s, the reason why they did so well is because they were all flat track riders. So they got used to sliding the bikes around corners, in low grip areas. And of course, in those days, they're riding those big, outrageously powerful 2-strokes.
Yeah. Oh wait, you're talking about. Oh wait. Oh, you're talking about okay. Disregard it. I know which bikes you're referring to now. Gotcha.
Yeah, you like the Wayne Gardner era. All those guys. Well, he's Australian. Who am I talking about here? Like Kevin Schwantz. All those old racers, man. They're all flat track riders before they came. I know Kenny Roberts was before he started road racing. He was the first guy to start dragging knee. But yeah, so it's important to handle your bike in low grip areas. But it's tough to do if you're just riding around on the street, cruising every day to work. But for the most part, that's what I would recommend. Because in a situation like that, you want to know what to do, and most people don't.
For sure. For sure. Well, Hammy Moto, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I am gonna leave it up. I'm gonna give the side chat a couple minutes to, if they want to ask a question. I'll pick one of the and I'll can you see the side chat over there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. I want the side chat. I want you guys to pop a question. I want you to answer a couple of them, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. But side chat, go ahead and ask Hammy. I'll let Hammy choose couple questions, and then I'll let him be on his way to get back to some nice quality gaming, because I'm pretty sure that's probably what you're gonna do, or you're not gonna do that. What are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Probably just go back downstairs and watch a show. Maybe have a glass of wine. Yeah, it depends. I'm not really sure. Probably go to bed because I got to get up at work at 5:30 tomorrow.
Oh damn! Yeah, you be over there with all them cars, man. Damn. It's got to be a shitty job.
It's interesting for sure. We get some rare exotics, some ultra classics. Like we had this really neat old Mini Cooper there. that was really cool. Just they're tiny, man. And one really neat car we had was it was an older NSX, and those things are tiny.
Yeah,
those accurate NSX.
The roof of it, like it's so low. Like I remember the first time I walked up to one, I was like, man, this thing's like right at my waist. Like, damn, like it's not like, I mean, of course the car is low, but like the roof, it's like I just wasn't used to something that small. But then again, I really hadn't been around a bunch of Lamborghinis and other supercars. So when I saw that, I was just like, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. But you can tell a lot of them have been made by other manufacturers. But anyway, so a couple of questions over here. Do I feel invincible? No. If anything, it's the opposite. I felt invincible before I got into the accident. But certainly, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty cool that I survived that. You know, not too many people get to say they slid under a semi truck and walked away. But invincible, no. I'm gonna need to be born on planet Krypton or something like that. Blondes or brunettes? Ooh, I don't know. Whatever my girlfriend is.
Good answer.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah. What hobbies are you looking at now? I don't know. I wanted to start. I've been really thinking about going up on stage and doing some stand-up comedy. I've always thought about doing.
Dude, you just let me know the night, dude. I'm gonna be your #1 heckler. Yes.
Oh yeah, thank you. I want you to come there. I want you to give me shit, and just stand there, go semi truck. I always thought about doing that. I'm gonna go to some shows and maybe look into that.
That'd be cool.
Because certainly comedy and being funny is what I enjoy doing. Okay. Mr. Meng, what's your thoughts on your next bike? What you gonna get? Honestly, I haven't even lended a thought towards it yet. Just I'm gonna think about doing some other stuff for a while. But if I was to get another bike, I want to get that Z1000 again, man. Like, that was an amazing bike. I loved that bike. It was the right color. It looked great. I got these new headlights on there, and they looked superb. Like, I'm not sure how it is for other guys, but sometimes I like to go downstairs in the garage and just sit on my bike for a couple of minutes and look at it. You know, I've always done that. And of course, another thing I want to mention, thank you, everyone, for being so kind and supportive through this. I've been getting lots of messages on Instagram from everyone. I try to respond back to as many as I can, and it really means a lot that people really care this much. And see if there's any other questions down here.
I think that was it.
That's it.
Yeah, that seems to be it. Well, hey, Hammy, man, I appreciate you coming on the show once again, brother. I wish you nothing but the best. You know, going forward, man, whatever you do with the channel, if you scrap it or if you decide whatever, you know, you still got my support, man. And,
yeah, thank you, man.
You know, whenever you get back riding, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 5 years, man, you know, you could always reach out to me. And hey, you know, we'll meet up and go terrorize the city, and then have some lunch, and then go fuck off back to the house, you know. But it's always It's always good, man, to be in your presence in your company, dude. You're really, really good individual, man, and I am definitely glad that you survived the gauntlet. You know what I mean? Like that you're here, and whatever you do, man, I know that it will be entertaining, yeah, I'll watch. It doesn't matter, man. But yeah, guys, appreciate everybody for coming out to the show, man. A little bit of fun, a little bit of serious, but hey, man, sometimes serious is needed, man, to put everything back into perspective. So if you guys want, man, go follow Hammy over there on Instagram, man. Show him some love or whatever. If you want to do it on these YouTubes, you can do that also. But with that being said, guys, we are going to go a little dark for a while on the show. Unless Kevin fucking texts me afterwards and be like, no, motherfucker, you know how much money I put out? God damn it, you better be on here next fucking Saturday. But if he doesn't, then yeah, we're going to go dark a little while. I've been compiling the Red One radio guy, or the, oh my God, I can't even think. The season 2 people. Yes, all the new guys coming in. So that's going to go definitely live. I said early March, but I think I'm going to do it after my birthday. I gotta let that birthday hangover subside. My birthday's March 19th.
Say that again, bro. I'm on your side of that one. You gotta let that one you gotta have a special day for that. Yeah, there's your birthday and there's birthday hangover.
I'd be a dick. Especially that first guy, if I was there with the hangover, be like, all right, dude, who the fuck are you? What do you really want? You just want to like what? No, I don't know. But anyways, guys, yeah, it'll definitely be somewhere after the 19th, so be on the lookout for that, man. Once again, big shout out to Hammy Moto, big shout out to Trick Wonders, big shout out to KITB and Ghost Ninja with his little $2. Capo79 in the building. I see you, buddy. But yeah, seriousness, guys, do your research, learn your motorcycle, wear your gear, and yeah, man, yeah. Hammy, I'll give you the last word, bro.
Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your well wishes. I know someone up there was saying someone was defending me in the comments, and it's just when it comes to all the haters and critics, I mean, everybody's a law-abiding expert rider when they're sitting behind a keyboard and judging others. So it doesn't bother me too much, but thank you all so much for your love and support. It means a lot to me. And again, it's another day to be alive. And I love you all so much. Thank you. Especially you, Red One.
Yeah, man. Love you too, bro. All right. Later, guys. Catch you on the next one. Peace.